Good morning, this is just a quick video on how I went about making this coloured floor made from pallet wood, some non-structural pine and a few screws. We start by cutting and pulling apart some pallets. Run the circular saw down either side of the pallet. Flip it over and do the same for the other side. Twist and rock the palings back and forth, then lever them off with a pry bar. And then hammer out all the nails. Flip it over, use some sort of chalk to remove them. The kids love helping with this part. 3 pallets worth of palings make quite a nice starting point. If you have a thicknesser, then you can run all the palings through that just to clean them up a bit. If not, you could use an 80 grit flappy disc on the angle grinder and maybe a 120 grit on the sander. I used to do it this way, but about 8 months ago I bought myself a thickness planer and it saves so much time. Now let's get started with the frame. Pick an empty space. Either side is attached into the concrete using a masonry bit and plastic plugs. The rest of the pieces are just sitting straight onto the ground. To prevent my kids from kicking them around while I'm trying to build, I attached them either end. I did this using a pocket hole jig. This isn't exactly how you're supposed to use this jig, but I don't have the rest of it and this works just fine. To save on both space and money, I run the lengths of 70 by 35 down the table saw to split them in half. So for your palings, square up one end to start with. I just grab the speed square and run the circular saw along that. Mark your length and where you want your screws to go. Take it back outside, cut it to length. Pre-drill and chamfer your holes. Thanks to Dad, I now have a tool that does both that in one go. Otherwise you can just do one and then the other. Give it a bit of a light sand. If you want to add a bit of extra character, you can vary the different widths of the boards. I did this by running the palings through the table saw. I picked 45, 90 and 140 for my varying widths. When you have all your pieces cut, it's time to paint them. I use cheap poster paint from Kmart and then slap on some paint. If you haven't mastered this technique, then you might have to do it the old-fashioned way. And then sit back and watch it come together. This would also look nice as a bed head or the background of a YouTube studio or something. Well, that's it. I have a lot more cheap, easy DIY videos over on my channel if that's something you're interested in, and I have a lot more coming too in the future. If you liked this video or found it somewhat helpful, then give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give me a thumbs down if you like, but either way, I hope I see you next time.